Hey, Miss Johnson, how you doing?
I love that you are all suited and booted this morning.
Appreciate it. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Hey, just glad to be in the land of the living. It's been a crazy start to 2021, but hey, we here, we alive. That's all that matters.
Amen.
Amen. So for those of you that are just now tuned in, this is Cherie Johnson from the legendary Family Matters and Pinky
Oh,
Brewster. So thank you so much for being with me.
thank you.
So real quick, how is your year going so far? I do know everything is kind of still going up in
I
the air.
I am in my pajamas because that is a strong indicator of how this year has started off.
Totally understandable.
I
Totally
I'm
understandable.
still here, so I will not complain. I am thankful.
I agree wholeheartedly. And we have to unfortunately start this out with we have to address it. The iconic Miss Cicely Tyson has now passed away. So real quick, how much did she mean to you as an actress and as a black woman in general?
She was my first TV mother ever, and she it's just I don't want to cry. Um, so I keep looking away because I just gotta like gather myself. I mean, I know she was 96 years old. I know she had a fabulous life, but she was one of those people who you just expected to be here always. I never thought that there would be a day that she wasn't here anymore. Um, the lady was so sweet and so genuine. She set me on her lap when I was a little girl, and she looked at me and she said, "Baby, I need you to do me a favor." And I said, "Yeah." She said, "You are a young black woman. You don't have to play housekeeper because I already did that for you.
Mm,
You don't ever have to play no mammy or a nanny because I did that for you. You play things that'll move black women along, and you never do anything that'll make you ashamed to tell or to show your grandmama."
wow.
And she said, "Do you understand?" Being polite, I said, "Yes, ma'am." But I never forgot her words, ever. And as I grew up and jobs were offered to me, one of the first things I would think is, do I want my grandma to see me do this? And then I'll never forget, I was in a room full of actresses. We were filming a movie, and it was, oh my God, what's the lady's name? I feel so bad right now. Layla Odom was in the room, and it was, oh, what's the girl's name who said rockabye baby? Vanessa Williams
Hmm.
from New Jack City. And I got a call from my management, and they asked me if I wanted to audition for The Help. And I said, "Who's that?" And they said, "You would play a housekeeper or something." I said, "Oh, no, 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 I don't do that." Layla was like, "Girl, you better get your money. Ain't nothing wrong with a housekeeper." I said, "There's nothing wrong with a housekeeper at all." But there was once upon a time where they didn't offer us any roles but that. And I don't have to do that because that was already done for me. And the ladies kind of got irritated with me
Hmm.
and thought that I was being like I was too good. And it wasn't, what's that, Pittsburgh? It wasn't that I thought that I was being too good. It was just that we're so much more.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Like just because you're black doesn't mean you have to play the stereotypical role. You know,
Exactly.
you don't have to play the maid or the crazy baby mama or the drug dealer.
Exactly.
You can play something uplifting to our people because that is what Miss Tyson was all about. Do you remember the last conversation that you had with her?
So when I was little, she gave me these earrings. And I wanted to say thank you and tell her it was a few years ago. She actually had like a jewelry line on QVC or Home Shopping Network, one of the two. And I was able to tell her, "Thank you so much for the earrings that you gave me." And she was like, "You still got those, baby?" I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I still have them." And now they've been in a box for years, but I'm saving them until my daughter's old enough to appreciate them. They're hers.
Absolutely. You want to make sure that you pass that, on to another generation. So once again, our thoughts and our prayers are with the family of Miss
Ab-
Cicely Tyson, gone but never forgotten. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I addressed that. Like obviously you as an actress, I know that she inspired you, but along with her, who were some of the other actresses that inspired you to follow in their footsteps?
Oh my God, Roxy Roker. I was able to work with her. The lady who played my grandmother, Susie Garrett, is one of the most naturally funny, comedic timing, is like impeccable women I've ever met in my life. God rest all their souls. My only other TV mother I ever had was Miss Susan Douglas from Stella Got a Groove Back, and she definitely inspires me. She's gorgeous. But there's so many out there that inspire me. Like, look at Betty White. I
Mm-hmm.
love that old white lady. She said exactly what she want, when she want, how she wants. And I love that. And Sally Field. I really like Sally Field. Her, I pray that my career can parallel hers because it's timeless. She's been working forever.
And just like you have, like you've been in this business for a nice amount of time, what made you even want to get into acting in the first place?
I started 40 years ago. So I never wanted to be an actress. My uncle wrote this script called Punky Brewster, and he wanted to use my name. So he gave me the script and said, "Hey, read this." And I said, "Cool, when do we go to work?" And he was like, "Oh, babe, the job's not yours. It's just I want to use your name."
Mm.
And I was like, "Well, that's stupid. How are you going to have somebody else play me?" And I convinced his wife to take me on the auditions. And after 7 of them, I got the job. And I didn't like kindergarten, so it was my way out.
Man, I wish that could have been me back then. If I could have been on TV instead of taking naps in kindergarten, I think I'd have, went the acting route. How
I
much fun?
It was a waste of my time.
Yeah, I could kind of see why though, because in the way I look at it is everybody has their own different paths that they take, right? But some of
Yeah.
us start extremely early, and that is what you did. So how much fun was it to be a part of Punky Brewster?
It's still so much fun. Are you kidding? The reboot will be out February 25th on the
Sure
Peacock.
will.
Soleil and I are still two little kids on the couch giggling and having fun together like we're 6. Literally.
Like something that I had always been curious about, particularly in this day and age when it seems that everything is getting reboots and everybody kind of wants to see how would the show do now. What is the process of getting a reboot like?
You know what? I don't know because I'm not one of the producers and I'm not at the networks. So I don't know what they went through. I actually found out on social media that Punky Brewster was coming back. People were writing me asking me, "Are you going to be on the show?" And I was like, "I don't I don't think it's real." Because people have been talking about this Family Matters reboot forever that none of us have heard about, but fans start rumors and, but I I found out later, probably like an hour and a half after people on social media had been asking me, I got a phone call from Soleil. And she was like, "Uncle David didn't tell you?" And I was like, "Tell me what?" And, and then he calls and he's like, "Soleil didn't tell you?" And I was like, "Tell me what?" Both of them had signed, I guess, like non-disclosure agreements that they wouldn't say anything to anybody, but they had been working on this for like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
But I had no clue.
Always leaving us out.
But they thought that he was like, "Oh, I just thought Soleil would have told you," and Soleil was like, "Oh, I thought Uncle David would have just told you." But they kept it a secret, and then I got a call and asked me when I come back. The answer was, "Are you serious? Of course."
So how exciting was it once you got that phone call that the show was getting picked back up?
It was still unreal. It wasn't real until I walked on the set and I saw the set and I looked at Soleil's face is when it became real.
Man, did it bring back all of those old memories and all of those old feelings?
Memories, emotions. I cried the whole time we did the pilot. Happy tears, of course. I cried through all 10 episodes of our first season. I cried when I was leaving my trailer. And I actually have always like made fun of people who cry on social media. I always think it's so funny. So I recorded myself and I couldn't get my shit together to stop crying. So I just let it out there like because was just such a unreal, thankful moment. I was so excited. I know we're coming back for a second season. It's so funny. Like when you do a pilot, most of the time people are like, oh, let's see if we get picked up. It just felt right. Like I knew we were getting picked up, and I know we're coming back for a second season.
It seems that once you're starting to work on a TV show, now mind you, I'm not an actor, but I've
Mhm.
talked to a couple of them, and they all said that the chemistry has to be there and the timing has to be right. But most importantly, the people have to be right for that job. What was it about that role that you identified with that made you say, I can really do this?
Which one, Punky?
Punky, yes.
My uncle used my life. He used my name. I mean, she wasn't everything about me, but like the fact that the character Cherie ate all day, it's me. The fact that he called her Bucky Beaver because of her big teeth,
Hilarious.
me. I was definitely a tomboy. You know, he used much of my real life. There's it's really weird because like Soleil and I sit down and we talk about it all the time. People ask us, well, what are the differences between you and your character? There's fine lines. You know, some of the things are just my character, but a lot of it is me.
I think that's pretty cool too, though, to know that you're actually being portrayed on TV, and you can kind of add stuff to the character, take things away from it. Could you do
Yeah.
that?
I mean, the character, when Cherie was little, she was boy crazy. I was not, but I was a tomboy. So there's things now, even in my adult Cherie character, which I can't give too much away. There's things that are definitely me. My passions, um, my job career is not me, but the fact that I'm unapologetically myself
Hmm.
and I'm unapologetically black is me.
Isn't that like the greatest feeling in the world, knowing that you can be unapologetically black and you at the same time? Because everybody
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yes. Absolutely. And Cherie Johnson the girl is, and Cherie Johnson the character is. And that makes me very proud.
It does. I'm sure it does. And you've done a lot in your career, including work on Family Matters. How did you land that role as Max on Family Matters?
I had to audition a couple times, and in fact, they called my agent back and said, "We really like her, but we don't want the character to have braces." And so I got in trouble. I got my ass beat over that audition because I went in the bathroom and took my braces off
Oh.
with toenail clippers.
Ooh.
And I asked my mom, "Can I go back in?" And my mom was like, "Did have you lost your mind? I paid $5,000 for them things to go in your teeth."
And you took them mugs right out. It was
I
like,
took them,
ah.
and I went back in, and they gave me the part.
Did your mom ever forgive you for taking them braces off?
No, she's still mad because my bottom teeth is crooked.
It is something how like black moms in general can hold a grudge for like 10, 20 plus years. You're like, mom, you gotta let it go, man.
No, she's still mad. In fact, I should probably pay her back. I mean, that would be the right thing to do, right?
I mean, yeah, it probably would. You did do a lot on that show, but I mean, hey, you had to do what was necessary to get the job, though, right?
For me, yeah, my mom just wanted my teeth straight.
I mean, we all want something that we probably can't get. Heck, I still want to be 6'3", but that's not gonna happen. But you continue to do so much on that show. What was it like just being a part of arguably one of the greatest sitcoms and one of the largest Black range sitcoms of all time?
I mean, look at while you're in the process, you're having fun. You're just spending time with people that you love and doing what you do. Looking back at it now, I'm so thankful to be a part of Black history
Hmm.
because it is a historical Black show.
It is. It really is. And of course, I grew up watching it. Obviously Steve Urkel was the most iconic person on that show. And what I thought was pretty cool is he was really going to be on there for just one episode,
Yeah.
but the fans loved him, and I think it was like a bunch of college kids that were asking, "Where's Steve? Where's Steve?" And like the network brought him back.
Yes.
But your character actually got really good reviews too. So how did it make you feel to know that you were doing such a great job on that show?
Thank you. I actually, like, the job wasn't mine. It belonged to another actress first. And I don't know what happened, but maybe the chemistry wasn't there like that between her and Kelly. So being able to step in the role and try to fill someone else's shoes as the best friend um, is just a blessing. And then I got to play Waldo's girlfriend, where
Oh yeah.
Sean and I had actually met on Punky Brewster. He was the first boy that tried to kiss me at the Kissing Rock years prior. So to be able to come from one show and have my friend come with me to another show and be able to work with him for 8 years, I believe, was incredible, because it was like we already had a bond for years prior, and the bond just got deeper and deeper and deeper, and now the bond is completely unbreakable. The friendships that I made with him and Darius are unmatched to anything else in the world. I mean, Kelly and I are still cool. That's my homegirl.
Actually, I reached out to Kelly a couple times, so I just want to put that shameless plug in there. But I'll ask that question later during this. You had a chance to work with so many incredible people on that show, and you
Yes.
actually answered the next question I was going to ask, as far as like how is your relationships with him now? Did you feel any kind of way that you weren't necessarily considered a series regular? Because Max appeared in a bunch of
Yeah,
shows.
I felt some kind of way. I got to go to prom. I got to go to homecoming. I went to my school football games. I did not miss my graduation. Being a series regular means you're stuck. You're binded by a contract to fulfill your obligations.
Hmm.
I ain't had no obligations. I was a teenager and a young adult who really got to like live her life. I went to school and did what I wanted to do.
Man, you just taught, I think, a lot of people a valuable lesson right then and there. I think it kind of just went over their head. And I think the lesson in that is it's great to know that you're working, but you don't necessarily want to just sign your life away right then and there, because you miss a lot of the precious moments, and you miss a lot of those precious times at such an early age.
Yeah, it's all about negotiations. And I think if I would have went in and pushed and told there were times where they asked me at the beginning of the year, "Do you want more episodes or are you okay?" And I was like, give me my 13 out of 22. I'm not trying to all the time with y'all.
What was your favorite episode from playing Max?
Oh, you know, my favorite episodes probably have nothing to do with the show. Does that matter?
In this particular instant, yeah, because like you had to. I mean, obviously you were on there for such a long time, but if you could pick one of your favorite episodes that you were a part of, which one would that be?
Dang, that's so hard because I never watched the show.
Really?
No.
So
So like
you,
I can't say, the one that everybody loves with the pies thrown in my face. That was not fun to me. I'm allergic to chocolate.
ouch.
Kelly gave me a headache. She hit me hard as hell with that fucking pie. So that wasn't fun. And then the one with Christoph St. John, it was amazing to be able to work with Christoph, because Christoph is Soleil's brother's best friend. Well, was Soleil's brother's best friend. So I've known Christoph since I was like 6 years old.
Hmm.
So to play his girlfriend is amazing, but I thought the show was corny. So I can't say that that was my favorite. And then there was an episode where we were building a float
Yeah, I
on the
remember
show.
that.
I have no idea what the show is about because I have no clue. But I just remember having so much fun with the guy who played Waldo.
Waldo
Dur-
Faldo.
Yeah, during the episode. So like I don't really know like what the shows were about. I just remember moments and the moments that were special and important to me.
In the moments that you spent on the show, was there any moment that you guys were a part of that you said we just changed TV history forever?
No. Because I never thought about it like that deeply.
Hmm.
You know, for me, I was just doing something that I loved. We weren't curing cancer. We weren't. It's not brain surgery. We're just making people laugh.
Yeah, you definitely did make a lot of us laugh. I think my
Or
favorite episode was probably the one where you guys were at the dance-a-thon and you were dancing all night.
oh yeah, that was
And
fun.
yeah, that one was fun because you convinced Waldo to leave and he just said cool and walked out. I'm like, Waldo's a real one for that one.
But when you say like doing something that matters, for me, changing TV history, it's like it would take me back to Punky Brewster, our Just Say No to Drugs episode that
Hmm.
had us traveling. We traveled every state in the United States on the weekends. What people don't know is we worked Monday through Friday, and then we would get on a plane Friday night and we'd end up in whatever city. It could be Oklahoma, you know, and we would do these Just Say No to Drug rallies and be home and at work on Monday morning after we spent our weekends going speaking at schools, um, doing like rallies and talks, signing autographs, and then we come to school. You know, we show back up at school on set Monday morning.
Hmm.
So when you know that you're doing something that like change the world or change people's lives, for me, that's the show that changes things, you know? Like what a lot of people don't know is Just Say No to Drugs was not Nancy Reagan's campaign. It was a black lady by the name of Linda Wilkes outside of Oakland, California, who reached out to Nancy and got her involved. And Soleil and I helped that happen by it being on the show. So that's a part of like changing things, you know, or changing things for different individuals. Or the show when Cherie got locked in a refrigerator.
Hmm.
It taught kids about CPR and how important it was. And at the time, it was something that was happening. For me, my character on Family Matters didn't so much change in it. We brought awareness
Sure did.
when Laura did her diet pills, or when Josie got shot over her shoes because that was happening.
Hmm.
When Darius got pulled over by the police and was racially profiled, that was bringing awareness, but I don't know that it changed anything for anyone. Does that make sense?
It does, and I appreciate you for elaborating on. Definitely means a lot. You've done a lot in your career, from the TV shows to directing, things of that nature. But now you're doing the podcast. How much fun is it to do that?
The podcast was like unexpected. So my co-host and the show's producer Courtney actually interviewed me one day, and he said you should have your own podcast. And I said, okay, so go ahead, produce it. And he thought I was joking, and he called me back a couple later and was like, is that something that you would really want to do? And I said, if I don't have to leave my house.
Ah,
He was like, what do you mean? I don't know if you ever noticed, but most my podcasts are all done from my kitchen
yeah, I have.
because I'm cooking dinner. I have something in the oven all the time. I have this amazing little girl, and I decided that I was going to kind of be a housewife and take care of my daughter.
Hmm.
And so my podcast is an awesome way for me to open up a little bit because I'm not cool with I never wanted to be famous. So I never wanted people to know me. But people have questions, and so I'm open to opening up a little bit but on my terms. And Cherry's World podcast is a way for me to let you guys get to know me by meeting people that I know or meeting people that I admire, and we talk about things that I feel are important.
Who has been your favorite guest on the podcast so far?
Oh, it's so unfair. I don't I don't think I have one. I will say that we've had so many amazing guests. Like we just did it, and we had four amazing people. To keep it safe, I will say my two best friends.
Way
I've
to be
had,
safe.
yeah, I keep it. You know, having Kelly come on was amazing,
Hmm.
and having Soleil come on, that's a part of my history, so that's amazing. But I mean, we had so many. Like Big Daddy Kane was on my show.
You had Uncle Luke as well.
Uncle Luke is on my show. Shaheem Franklin was on the show. do it all from Lords of the Underground on my show. Like there's so many people. I just did Stevie B from the Force MCs was on the show. Um Dawn Robinson is going to be on from In Vogue this season. Like, how
One of
can
the
I
best girl
pick?
groups of all time. One of the best
Yes,
girl groups.
yes. Alexis Fields, who I've known since she was like 3, was on the show. I can't pick. I can't.
Even though you can't pick who your favorite guest was, if you could take it back in time, who is somebody that is an actor or an actress that you wish you could have worked with on one of the shows that you were on?
Wow. You know what? I still have a dream that one day I will get another TV mom and it'll be Sheila E.
Oh man.
I would love to play Sheila E.'s daughter in something, or just do something with Sheila E. Because I love her. I've met her a few times, and just her light that shines around her is amazing.
It is. And weren't you connected to Prince in some kind of way as well?
No, I was not connected. I'm just a fan, like everybody else. I got to meet him, but just a fan.
What was that experience like when you met Prince? Because I did an interview with Sinbad, and Sinbad told me that Prince was just a real cool dude, but you could never necessarily understand Prince because he never had a phone, he never had an email, and like if he were to ever call you, you would just be like, "Oh shoot, this is Prince." So what was it like when you met him?
He didn't have a phone number or nothing like that. Um, well, when I got escorted away from him, okay, because I screamed in his face and I think I scared him. I was young. He used to have this club called Glam Slam. I snuck in. I had this fake ID that I had gotten from Hawaii. And I just, even though it was his club, I guess I didn't expect for him to like really be there. And when he walked in, I just lost my mind. It was like a Michael Jackson fan. I just started screaming. Security guards picked me up, put me over their shoulder, carried me out, and Lenny Kravitz was walking in. And he was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing here? Put her down." And he made them put me down, and I was like, "Oh my God, I saw Prince." And he was coming to the club to meet Prince. So he just looked at me and shook his head and snatched my arm and walked me right back in the club and introduced me and then said, "Go home."
A story that you will never forget, never
Ever,
forget. And
ever.
I wouldn't forget that either. That's definitely one of if I were to obviously he passed on, but back
Yeah.
then if I could have met him, I'm pretty sure that that'd have been pretty cool.
I didn't
Coming.
say anything. All I said was,
I mean, at least you got a chance to meet him. There's a bunch of people that never had that opportunity to, meet Prince. But hey, that's all right. You like I said, you've done so many great things in your career. What advice would you give to maybe somebody that wants to follow in your footsteps and, just being in the entertainment business, period? Like what advice would you give them?
the biggest thing I would say is don't listen to nobody else. If it's really what you want to do, go for it. Statistically, you get one job out of 100 auditions.
Mm-hmm.
So people only see your wins, they don't see your losses. And there's a lot, like I've been told no way more than I've been told yes. And so just take it as a not right now, not no.
Man, that sounds like me with these interviews because I've been told no a lot more than I've been told yes.
Because
But
don't nobody want to get up and get dressed and do something. Like when you're in entertainment, interviews don't pay.
mm-hmm,
But what they do is they take time away from your family on your off time.
mm-hmm.
And so it's hard. So I said yes, but I ain't get up and get dressed. I got my pajamas on, bro.
And that is the cool. You're the only person I've ever interviewed that has wore pajamas. I'm like, now that's what's up. If I
Pajamas,
if
no
I did that,
makeup.
y'all probably would not interview with me ever again. But that's not the point.
I would call it a pajama jammy jam. I actually felt guilty when I got on this. So I was like, oh, he got on a suit and everything. He all cute. Yeah, I just couldn't do it today.
Well, there's a reason why I'm in suit and ties, though. Make a long story short, so you might know or you might not. Carrie Champion, who used to work for ESPN, now she's on Vice TV. I
Mhm.
was doing an IG live with her, and I did not expect to get picked. And she had picked me, but I had my wave cap on, and I was like, shoot. And I just, I took that L like a man supposed to. I took my L, but I told her, I'm like, you have my word. Next time you see me, I'm gonna be in a suit, tie, haircut, etc. So the next time she saw me, I was in a suit and tie. I said, you know what? I'm gonna just keep the suits and the ties, so can't nobody else get on my IG live and say I talked to him when he had a daggone wave cap on. But that's not the point. Before we get out of here, I
That is
appreciate you.
cute.
I appreciate you so much for your time. One of the last questions: who would you like to see on the Chris Gunther show? And if you have any connect, can you possibly help me get them?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know, Chris. Let me think. What kind of stuff do you like to talk about?
Anything. I like to talk about anything with somebody that's gonna keep it real with me. That actually is a relevant person too.
You want to keep it real with somebody? Talk to Cherie Johnson. She
I would
happens
love
to be
it.
my cousin. She's a fool.
She's
She's funny. She's honest, and she's very relatable.
Well, I hope that your honest and relatable cousin Shar Jackson is watching this. So, Shar, if you watching, I'm gonna shoot my shot, and I hope I score like I'm Steph Curry. Well, nothing else needs to be asked. Cherie, thank you so much for your time. If anybody wanted to connect with you outside this, how can they do that?
Hey, holla at me. I'm Cherie J 75 or Cherie Johnson 75. I'm on IG, Twitter, Facebook. I ain't there no more. They kicked me off. Um, I guess I said too many things about Trump they didn't like. I got kicked off in August.
Oh man.
And now I'm on TikTok, but I'm trying to figure it out. Don't DM me on TikTok and want me to respond because I don't know how to.
Hey, that's okay. Well, Cherie, I thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Cherie Johnson on the Chris Gunther Show. Thank y'all so much for watching. See y'all next time. I'm out.
Bye, baby.